Hello, good morning. So, today I really wanted to build a portfolio app where I would showcase my about myself, about my work, about my achievements, about whatnot and whatnot, right? Like a complete portfolio app. So, I thought, why don't I design the complete system? And the special part I would like to showcase is that I would be buying a domain name, a domain from GoDaddy. Maybe quickly let me change the screen. Okay, so I would be creating a React app, as I said. And overall, I love AWS, as you're all aware. So we would dive into the concept of AWS from the front end React app, how the different layers would be there, coming with the AWS CloudFront, then following with the AWS route 53 for the DNS part, and then the special part, right? What I said, the registrar where we would be using GoDaddy to buy our own custom domain name, and how we can link the custom domain name from the GoDaddy to my React application that is running on S3, right? So we would be doing the overall end-to-end code walkthrough with this. And as well, as I said, this would be a custom domain. So since it is a custom domain name, I would be creating for, I have a digital footprint of tsabunkar.com. So I'll be ensuring that I'm using the www.tsabunkar.com, or a feature where someone can scan it, a end user can scan it, and the QR code would again redirect it to the tsabunkar.com. We would see the complete overall end-to-end process, how this can be done. But first, let's deep dive into the basic concepts of system designing, right? Starting with, I'll go from left to right. Okay, let me go from right to left this time rather than going from left to right. So we have an end user. An end user wants to connect to a custom domain name. So for that, first we need to buy a custom domain name. So the custom domain can be bought in various platform. GoDaddy is one. I think Namecheap is another one where you can buy the domain names, so on and so forth. So I have bought it from the GoDaddy. Here you have you just need to search, for example, let's say, so you have a dashboard, and you can search for a domain. I have already bought a domain. Here it is. So for example, I can search for a domain called Tejas Sabunkar domain. Let me search, and then it will tell me that, okay, tejassabunkar.com is available at for 1 year at so and so cost. Make it mine for 3 years, make it yours. So I click this, I have bought it, then I click continue, and it goes to the payment gateway, right? Like, I don't want a complete domain protection, continue to cart, and then you do the payment, right? And once you do the payment, the domain would be yours. So just to quickly show you guys, yeah, I can buy this tejas.com, tejassabunkar.com for 3 years, or there are different plans as well. For 3 years, I can ready to check out. So I can use GoDaddy to buy the custom domain name, or I can use Namecheap. Even Route 53 also has it. Maybe just to quickly showcase, even in Route 53, I can also create, or I can check for the domain, right? Like for example, the same thing, Tejas Sabunkar, check. So it will check whether this domain is existing, and then I can pay 15 USD per year, and I can select it. So I found it GoDaddy much more bit cheaper, and I have used GoDaddy. Okay, once you buy this domain name, maybe just to quickly zoom in, what does the domain does? A custom domain does, right? It's basically, let's say, a user-friendly name as simple as www.tsabunkar.com or www.flipkart.com, amazon.com, mintra.com, whichever the domain that I want to buy. And then it's basically the registrar, where it's think like the shop where you want to buy your website name, right? As I said, you can buy it in GoDaddy, Namecheap, different places you can buy the website name. Once you bought this, I'll explain about the route table and how to configure that. Then you have something called DNS. DNS is nothing but the domain name system. It is the Route 53. As I said, in the Route 53 you can have your DNS, and here you convert the domain name, what you have bought it, for example www.tsabunka.com. You convert this domain name into an IP address, right? You convert that domain name into an IP address, which is IPv4 address to be very specific, which is much more understandable for the name servers, the servers that we where we are running with, where our application is running with, right? So you convert the domain name to an IPv4 address very specifically. If just to give a visualization, if registrar is buying the house name, DNS is the GPS location which points the visitor to that specific house, right? Like it gives you the exact location, or the GPS location where exactly GPS locations are in the coordinate fashion. So it will give you that exact location how you can go to a specific house. So DNS does that. It converts a specific domain name, which is tsabunka.com, into an IPv4 address. Then after this DNS part, the next layer is CDN. You might ask this question, that Tejas, why are you doing all this, right? Like, why can't I directly connect my domain directly to the React app? No, we have to follow. This is a standard protocol that we follow at the enterprise level. Huh? That's the reason why I'm going in a production ready industry standard way of doing things. So after the domain name, we have something called CDNs, right? Previously as well, we have seen what does a CDN does. It is basically a content delivery network. It stores the copy of your website, so the React website, around different locations in the world, so that it'll be this end of the day your React website runs on the user browser machine, right? So whoever the end user, when he tries to invoke or call my application with www.tsabunka.com, what happens is we need to have this static application. This is the static files that we have. This static files, because I don't have a backend right now. Maybe in future I might connect it, but let's say we just have the front end which has the static files, right? So for this static front end, which is basically the dist files, I want to have the copies of this in the different locations around the world, so that the rendering is faster. So that's the reason why we use content delivery network, something called CDN, which is provided by AWS itself, in AWS CloudFront. So AWS CloudFront provides the CDN, right? It stores, as I said, that's what I have been writing here. And then, what does this certificate means? So AWS Certificate Manager, in AWS Certificate Manager, something called ACM, AWS Certificate Manager. Here we have certificates. Certificates for what exactly? We want to allow the CloudFront, because CloudFront generally has HTTP. We want to ensure we have HTTPS being served. HTTPS is something which is for secured HTTP protocol, right? HTTPS is for most secured protocol. So on that, if we want our custom domain to have a secured protocol, so we need to ensure we have a valid certificate. So this is being managed in AWS Certificate Manager, so that it allows our CloudFront to serve HTTPS. We will go code walkthrough in the upcoming section, but yeah, just to let you know that what exactly in detail how we are trying to have it. And end of the day, we have the React app. The React app is where my portfolio application, where I'm trying to build, and this has been hosted in on S3. So quickly recap: a user first hitting the www.tsabunka.com goes to GoDaddy. In GoDaddy, where I've bought the registrar for this tsabunka.com, it redirects via route table to the name servers. The server routes has been uh, present in the DNS, in the Route 53 DNS. So from Route 53, we go to the CloudFront, where we have the replicas or the copies of our React app. And to ensure There are valid certificates. We verify that with our ACM, and once we have valid certificates, it ensure it goes to the portfolio React application, the portfolio app or the React app, where our actual application is being deployed to, which is in AWS S3. This is the overall end-to-end architecture, I would say, in a detailed level, not on the very high level, as well as the basic concepts of system designing. Coming back, as I told you, with the GoDaddy, I have already bought it. Let me quickly go and showcase my domain. Domain. Oops, not this. My products. Domain. Okay, so this is my tsabunka.com, which I've bought it. And under DNS, if I go, I have certain values. I'll come back to that. But first, let's go back to the React app. I'll explain the React app. Now we'll do a code walkthrough for the complete React app, right? Like, let's go in the step by step. So I have created the complete portfolio application, which is in React, as I said, in packet.json. I have typical dev command. I'm using VT to run my development application, to build my application, to preview that application, as well as to deploy. I am using a deploy command. I'll come back to that, what I'm trying to do. And going back to the source, I have my main.jsx file where I have my app.jsx, where I have the complete theme, where I have the complete application, right? It has the navigation bar, it had the main section bar, it has the hero section bar, the case studies, the proof section, the about section, the footer part, and if you want to connect with me, how you can do that, right? So overall, let me quickly share the local host. I think it is running. Okay, it is running. So so the complete app, right? The header section, the actual hook, where the first landing hook, and then what are the case studies which I have done, the proofs what I have, the proof section, as I said, each is its own component which we can see later, and then the about me section, what about the about section, and then the digital footprint section, where are my digital footprints, what I have contributed for the world, as well as if you want to connect with me, if you are developer, if you're an architect, if you're a leader, if you want to just connect with me, or if you're an HR want to connect with me, you can just connect with me on the different application, and then you can directly send an email as well, right? So just to quickly go through the code, to have a code walkthrough, let me quickly go. So I have the different components, as I said, the footer, the complete footer section, the complete footer section, the below footer section, the navigation bar, its JSX file and the CSS file, the complete navigation, the theme. By the way, I also have a theme of light mode and dark mode. I can convert. So you see the fonts and the color changes to the dark mode as well. So the theme context changes as well. The data, as I said, right now it is all been hard coded at the front end. Later I'll see if I want to connect the back end part of it, so that it renders from a backend or a database. But I don't see right now it is needed, so I have just hard coded values in the data folder. The webhooks that are needed as well. Sorry, the React hooks which are needed as well, and the different sections, as I said, right? The hero section, where I have my complete front end, the first page of it, where I build systems, the solution architect, open for opportunities, the first part, right? As well as I build systems through endurance mindset, blah blah blah, and the flip part as well. There is a word flip that is happening, which is another component which I have written. which I've written. And then I also have the proof sections. If I can show the proof, the testimonial side, the proof side, so on and so forth, right? And the theme, where I can toggle between uh, the light theme and the dark theme, which I have mentioned, right? So this is the complete code that is there. I'll be publishing that in my Git account. So if you are interested, oh, why am I going from this way, right? Like, let me go. If you want, you can just click Git and then the repositories and the portfolio. Under the portfolio app, the complete project is there, which I'm explaining right now. So this is my source folder, the complete React app. Coming back, I would like to do the code walkthrough, not just on the React app, but I would like to do the code walkthrough on the complete infra as well, right? So let's do the code walkthrough on the infra for the CDNs. How do you deploy the S3s? What are the required IAM policies, the policy requirement management, the infra Terraform code for the CDN, Route 53 and ACMs as well. So that is something under infra folder. So if you go under infra, you can see already there are four files which are the key files. The variables, the variable which I'll be passing through my command prompt. So the variable is for www um, underscore domain. um, this variable I'll be passing it. So if you want to quickly see, so www underscore domain, so the domain name. So you see there are two variables which I'm passing. Ups, there are two variables which I'm passing. So first is www underscore domain, which is the GoDaddy domain name which I'm giving because I've already bought it, www.tsabunkar.com. Similarly, the variable name for domain name, tsabunkar.com, even that is another variable which I'm trying to pass in my packet.json. So every time I build the command, I'm giving the required domain. This is for the Terraform apply, guys. What I'm trying to do is this variable's value has been R2 approved for the Terraform apply, right? So whenever I do Terraform plan and Terraform apply, this is the value I'm trying to pass, the values which I have said now, the tsabunka.com. And yeah, so these are the variables. The providers, I'm trying to say what kind of provider, HashiCorp provider I want to use, which is my cloud vendor, AWS. And then what is my region, what is my CloudFront region as well for the US East one. What is my output, right? Even that has been provided for the CDN domain name and the actual complete infra resides here. So let's go for under the main.terraform file. Here I have the S3 bucket, the bucket name, which is tsabunka.com. Maybe I'll quickly go here. So the tsabunka.com, the bucket that has been created, and the complete dist folder goes here. So whenever I do npm run build, this dist folder is created, the assets, index.html, everything goes and sit there. And then I have resources because I want to ensure that my S3 doesn't speak with anyone else. The S3 doesn't communicate with anyone else apart from CDN. So I'm trying to say block public ACLs, block public policies, everything you need to block. Just only and only you speak with CDN. So that has been written somewhere here. If you see CloudFront distribution, you see S3 bucket policy. So here in the S3 bucket policy, I'm trying to say that, hey S3, ensure that your policy is only allowing who? Is only allowing the resource, the source SRN, which is for the CloudFront, right? For the CDN only. Apart from that, no one else can access you programmatically. That's what I have done. Majorly, this is for S3. Again, I have just clubbed every damn code here inside one Terraform file. I could separate into a different Terraform files as well. Then the CloudFront origin access control, the OAC code, the certificate code for the AWS ACM that is needed. What kind of certificates needs to be created, what is the subject, for what domain name I need to create the certificates, then followed by the Route 53 DNS validation. So every time I need to, so for the first time, what I need to do is the ACM needs to validate the Route 53 domain name, right? Basically, it needs to check whether www.tsabunka.com, it's a valid domain, right? And this has been registered. So I will showcase that how you can do that later in the video. But it does this DNS validation. It typically takes from 1 to 5 minutes when you run first time the Terraform apply. But after that, once the DNS validation is done, the Route 53 validation is done, for ensuring that the certificate, ensuring that the tsabunka.com, the domain name is the valid domain name and it belongs to me, then it is good. Huh? And then you also ensure the certificate validations has been done here, which I'll showcase. Maybe I'll quickly showcase parallelly because it will be much more easier. So I've showcased this. I'll quickly open the ACM part, which is interesting. Yeah, so here is the tsabunka.com, the certificates that are required for the domain tsabunka.com and www.tsabunka.com, and the C name and the C values that are required. So this is for the ACM part. This one is basically what happens is that I've written this in the README. So what happens is, let's say if we are trying to hit www.tsabunka.com, I was trying to face an issue. So I wanted to, it was not going through. Huh? So what I have done is that whenever there is www.tsabunka.com, it would redirect back to https:/tsabunka.com, right? I was trying to reroute all the requests that is coming from https://www.tsabunka.com to https://tsabunka.com. That is what I have done the redirection. Basically, whenever what it does is that whenever there is a CloudFront, so this is the CloudFront function which I have written. Huh? This is the CloudFront function which I have written to redirect www to the root domain. Whenever there is a detect of request with www, it would return 301 and it will redirect to https://tsabunka.com. So that's what this specific piece of code does. And then the CDN code, the complete cloud formation code that are needed. Maybe I'll quickly showcase that as well. The CDN part, CloudFront. This is the complete CDN code that is needed. So yeah, this one, the first one. So here is where I have the CDN, for which I have ensured that it has the alternate domain name for this is tsabunka.com and www.tsabunka.com, and it has a custom SSL certificate that is valid, so on and so forth. This has all been configured um, with my Terraform code, set up and configured with my Terraform code. The bucket policy, I have explained it previously as well. Um, what kind of bucket policy I want so that the only CDN can access it. Um, this is for the Route 53 alias. So whenever we have the Route 53 access, the root access or WW access, those resources have been created here. Then the last piece of Terraform code is to upload the static file. What does that mean? That whenever there is a new build or the new disk that has been created, at that period of time, please ensure that this specific code, um, this specific code in the dist folder, it is trying to fetch with the file md5 for etags, and then copy all the relevant lookups for the HTML, whatever, the SVGs, the CSS, whatever the different content types are needed, and then you put it inside the S3, right? So this is where I'm trying to upload this dist folder to S3, the complete application. Um, to move my complete application, the dist folder from my local to S3, I'm trying to do that. As well, the CloudFront cache validation. What does this mean? The timestamp part. Whenever there is a new timestamp of this dist folder, which is different from the old one, only then you try to upload it inside the S3, and that would be rendered to the tsabunka.com or to the website. So that's where the CloudFront cache invalidation code that has tried to write. Or not me exactly, it was a vibe coding. So with the vibe coding, this has been written, right? Okay, so this is the complete React app which I wanted to explain. Sorry, the React app and the Terraform app. Now, as I told you, with the domain, you need to do some sort of configuration. So if I go to the name server, I think I have already written notes for that. So whenever you have uh, in your Route 53 hosted zones, when you create this different name servers, right? So let me quickly go to Route 53 hosted zones, tsabunka.com. So you see here in the type ns, you see the different traffic, the route traffics that you see. These are the name servers that you need to create a new record inside the domain. This is the link that is needed, huh, guys? That's it. You just need to copy all this record one by one, and then you need to paste that inside the name server value under DNS. Under DNS, the name server, you need to paste all this value and then click save. It would take 5 to 10 to 15 minutes to show, to reflect that. Once that is done, you're all good. Huh? Your Route 53 is connected with your GoDaddy. So the Route 53 is connected with the GoDaddy part. And this is the route table part which I was trying to say, right? The name server part which I was trying to say. That in the name server, you need to add this specific value. And that's how you connect your GoDaddy with your Route 53. That is done, as well as the complete. Okay, so just to quickly run this application, I would open npm run dev. Okay, I think the node version is not right. npm use version 25 of node, and yeah, this version of 25 should be good. So now I can do npm run dev. It says the application is running in localhost 5173. Yeah, the complete application is running in localhost 5173. And let me do some changes. Let me quickly do some changes. Maybe I'll quickly say open to opportunities. I will quickly rename it open to opportunities. I'll say closed to opportunities, right? I've quickly changed that close to opportunities. So it says close to opportunities now. So now I've already deployed my T-Sabunkar. This is, so when I hit www.tsabunkar.com, so it is still open to opportunities. Now I'll quickly change it close to opportunities. This I've done. What I need to do is first I need to build the application, the dist folder. So npm run build. I've built the dist, so I have a new dist. Now I need to deploy that dist to S3 so that it is reflected, right? So what I do, I go to infra Terraform, and then I I sort of write the Terraform applier. Maybe I'll use from the README Terraform apply. So it is changing. It is seeing what are the different things that have changed. And yeah, you see this has deployed. So close to opportunities in my tsavunka.com. I've quickly changed that from locally. I've tested it, and then I've quickly deployed that with my Terraform apply. Not again a standard way of doing it. You need to have a CI/CD pipeline, but and the test cases needs to run, so on and so forth. But I wanted to do a quick development and wanted to play with the Terraform. That's why I've done that. Secondly, okay, this is good. Also, the complete application is responsive, right? I can use for iPad Pro. The complete application is responsive. If I want to use for Samsung, oh, there is no S23 still. If I want for use for mobile application, or if I want to use for iPads or the complete web application, it is completely responsive. So I've ensured the responsiveness is there. The responsiveness was never taken, and it also have a small animations as well. If I want to see the education, the toolbox, my experience in Airbus, what are the different roles which I've played, my previous company and its roles, and the work which I did, so on and so forth, right? All this has been integrated. The responsiveness has been integrated, the animations have been integrated, and even the YouTube channels that I have, it would redirect it to my specific channel. The Medium website where I have written my articles, even there it would redirect, so on and so forth. Okay, so overall looks good. The front end part, the complete part. Okay, I forgot to explain. Even this scanner which I have generated, I've pasted in my public slash QR code. This I've generated locally, and yeah, whoever scans this, it would point it to tsabunka.com or www.tsabunka.com. Basically, it is HTTPS, right? HTTPS colon double slash www.tsabunka.com, which would again go to, or it would redirect to tsabunka.com. So this would again redirect to this QR code redirects to this, and that goes through the complete process, right? Okay. Last, how now I have the complete code. Now I really want to add new feature, and I don't want to sit and code, right? Like this is the last thing I want to do. So what do I want to do? I want the complete React, the complete local development part. I want my AI to write a code for me and deploy that. By the way, before that, before showcasing the Claude way of writing the code and how to do that, um, the last part I want to say is about I think the Terraform apply, which you have seen, rather than me doing this, changing the folder directories and doing that, I've written the script for that as a deploy. So it does npm run build and then change the directory and then do the Terraform apply. So rather than me writing it, I can just command npm run deploy. That's it. Cool, right? Um, Last thing is about, okay, I think I'm good. Okay, the last thing is about the CloudFront part, which I'm interested. Sorry, the last thing is about Claude part, which I'm interested to show now. So I'll quickly open the command prompt. I don't Let me open an external command prompt. I'll clear it. I'll open Claude. I have installed Claude locally. I've configured the token and I've installed it locally. If you have not seen this video, I've already explained it in my previous videos how to do that. So now I'm using the Sonnet 4.5 Claude. Now I would say, now my Claude is able to completely have a control of this portfolio app, and it can write the code for me, right? Like for example, let me think about a new feature that I want to add. Okay, maybe I'll think about, Um, okay, maybe I'll think about. Okay, for this YouTube, right? I would like to ensure that all my playlist links are there. Okay, so I would like to have the complete playlist link. Can I have a link of this playlist? No, it is just a video by video. Videos. Tut, 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 tut. Okay, I want to have a feature. Let's say I want to have a feature where I can see all the different playlists that are available. So let me ask Claude to do that. Okay, I will take a screenshot of this. I've taken a screenshot of this, and I would be a typical business person who would say that in um, in sharing the craft section for the YouTube, I need the YouTube section to have animation that opens different. So I want some sort of an animation that opens a different not open that opens list of playlist. This playlist values are uploaded in the image. I did not upload that. I'm doing command paste. Nope. Where is the image? Okay, let me retry it. Take a screenshot. Sorry, what did happen? Oops, oops, oops. Okay, let me go back. Let me take the screenshot again. Copy image. Why am I not able to do this? Find screenshots. Yeah, you see, I have uploaded the screenshot, right? I've taken from the screenshot directly. I was trying to do command C, command V. It was not happening. So I just uploaded the image. So okay. So you see this indication that image one was selected, and yeah, open the list of playlists. This playlist values are uploaded in the above screenshot. Make this section minimalistic and beautiful. Something like that. Let's see. So now Claude is trying to write a code for this. If you see, what is this? Okay, let me discard this part. Now you see the magic, right? Like, okay. It says, I'll help you to create a beautiful animated YouTube playlist section. Let me first explore the existing code structure to understand the current implementation. It is going under the footprints, under all the complete, it is reading the complete file, guys, and then it will try to write the code. You see, I have come under the commit sections, and you can see there will be a new code Claude would be writing for me, and for the complete new features which I have given it as a screenshot, by the way. Yeah, please do it. Allow the edits. So I just allowed the edit so that the Claude has the ability to write the code or edit and write it. Let me try to style for the animated playlist cards. So it is creating the animated cards and all that. I was trying to see, I don't think the links would be right because the URL is just tsabunka slash playlist, right? Like I really wanted to have it a dedicated playlist links. I don't know, maybe if I can. So it is still writing the code. If so, it is typically writing like a developer, like how we used to write 5 or 3, 4 years back, how we used to write the code. It is writing the code for me right now. Okay, so this is done. You see, these are the changes it has done, by the way. Oh my God, isn't this crazy? And these are the new files it has added. The new CSS, the playlist card, so on and so forth. The complete new functionality it has done. If I can quickly go to the local host part, yeah, if I refresh, you see, YouTube playlist. Claude, oh, nice. It has the complete playlist. I can click the playlist. I don't know whether it'll go. Oh, it went to that playlist part. So AI automation LinkedIn post. So I have just added this new feature. It is still in my local, by the way, right? So now what I can do, I'll close this guy. The Claude has written the complete code locally now. So what I can do is I can just go back to my terminal. I can just go back to my terminal. I'll just say, I think the node version is wrong again. I'll quickly use nvm use version 25. And then I'll just say npm run deploy. Before me deploying it, just to let you know, this is my local host. This is my T Sabunkar. Doesn't have this functionality or the feature. And yeah, I click npm run deploy. It would create all the new builds. It would go to the required infra files. It would do the changes. And here you go. This new feature or the functionality should be available in tsavankur.com as well. Yeah, it is available in the tsavankur.com as well. And all this was generated, the complete text and all, the two videos, one video, five video, all this was generated on the screenshot which I took, right? And I have written the functionality. I've just given a prompt with that screenshot to my Claude and told to write that functionality, and it was there, right? So cool is that. Yeah, I think that's how you can now write the code, now write the functionalities. Now what I see, what is happening here is that as we progress, the coding part, the local coding part can be done. The template part can be done by the Claude or by the co-pilots, by the AI agents, so on and so forth. As a developer or as an architect, we focus majorly on the integration of the systems, just gluing the systems so that things work end to end, right? That would be the focus, and that's where we need to target though. Thank you for listening for this video. See you then. Bye.